Thanks to the support as a channel member, Robert McDonough. Life here in Spain hasn't got off to the best start. We've just conceded 4 goals against what is apparently local rivals Atletico. At least we've only got Barcelona to play today. That's got to be easier, surely. Hello and welcome to Club 5, Part 3 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have our first Champions League game away against Slavia Prague. And we are also away against Barcelona in La Liga. Since you were last with me, we played a couple more games after the disappointing draw against Leganes. We did beat Villarreal, but then got absolutely battered by Atletico. It didn't help that we went down to 10 men relatively early on in that game. Our left back getting sent off after 28 minutes. It was 1-1 at that point, and from that moment on, there was only ever going to be one winner. And I'm already noticing this squad has a distinct... You can tell who went to left back. He didn't have a very nice time out there. We have a distinct lack of strength in depth at left back, and also central midfield and defensive midfield. We basically are playing centre backs at defensive midfield, and we don't really have anyone behind these three as central midfielders. Koulibaly, I think, probably has to come back into this central midfield mix. The only problem is we don't really have much in the way of strikers either. The squad is thin. We sent Florentino, the youngster, out on loan to Girona because he wanted to go out on loan for game time at just before the transfer window closed, and that's actually left us with a first team squad of only 19 players, which probably isn't enough for Real Madrid. But we don't really have any money. We did sell a couple of players on deadline day. Again, just trimming the fat. Our second choice goalkeeper, Lorenzo Rodriguez, we sold him for £6.5 million to Real Sociedad. And Je went to Fulham for £7 million. He was our third choice right back. So the transfers that are on their way out make sense. We just haven't been able to start bringing the right one, any more of the right ones in yet. It's obviously a work in progress on the way through the door in the right direction. I'm nervously starting to glance at club vision and reminding myself we actually only need to finish top 4 in La Liga this year. I'm tempering my expectations as we are very much midway through a rebuild. Any idea I might have had of just romping to the Liga title this year, that's gone. We haven't got the squad to do that. We haven't got the squad to get particularly deep in the Champions League either. The target is quarterfinal. I have to agree with it. And I think the board have pretty much nailed this on the head. Nailed it on the head? That's right. Is it? You nail things on the head. But their plan is absolutely spot on for the type of players they want me to be bringing in. And the results they want off the back of that are really realistic as well. Just a season of consolidation this year, starting to challenge next year, and then winning stuff the year after with these players who've then had 2 to 3 years at the club to really develop into Real Madrid standard players. We said when we came in it was a 3-year job, and it seems that the board agree, and apparently we're not going to fast track the process all off the back of that one big defeat. I mean, to be fair, it's not just off the back of the defeat, the Leganes game as well. Once we get past the core of the team, we don't have much behind them. I mean, you can see this team we're sending out there for this Champions League game. Florentino obviously not part of the squad. We've got one guy who's injured, who's like our 11th choice centre-back. To be honest, with that young lad that we've got, the young 15-year-old, he's probably 4th choice centre-back. So this guy's way, way, way down the pecking order, and there is no one else available to go on the bench. We are probably going to have to draft some lesser quality youngsters in just to fill out the squad to play some of these La Liga games, or else we are going to run out of players quickly. If we get 3 or 4 injuries accumulate at the same time, we've got a real problem. But let's not worry about that. Our team for Slavia Prague, Canizares in goal, a back 4 of Mikkeltadze, Marina, Mikhailov, and Kekon. We'll never know. Atundi at the base of midfield, Bell and Carlos Vitor ahead of him, Lopez behind Koulibaly and Vinicius Jr. We turned down numerous offers from Inter Milan on deadline day for Vinicius Jr. They started at about £3.5 million. They got as far as 7 million towards the end of deadline day. And I was getting tempted because he's turns 36 this season. He's on £250,000 a week. We could, I mean, every part of it makes sense if you've got Delgado coming in at the same time. But when we don't have the money to go and bring the big name striker in, we probably shouldn't get rid of the only guy who looks like he's going to be capable of playing that advanced forward role that we need to get the best out of Koulibaly. Otherwise, we are going to have to resort to playing a 4-3-3 with a false 9 and having Koulibaly as the false 9 and maybe Vinicius and Bell either side of him, which is something I'm considering. But even then, it's the same players, just arranging them in a slightly different shape. We have no strength in depth. How has it come to this? We've sold too many players. Norwich are top of their group, I see. So yeah, it's going to be a tougher job than I think I imagined, and I think you probably imagined it would be a little easier than it is as well. You know, it's Real Madrid, easy peasy time. Not really the case. Vinicius is in there and probably should be scoring. He's hit the base of the post. But obviously, with the huge amount of money available at Real Madrid, although we've spent it all for this year, but with the sponsorships we've looked at before, the size of the ground, just the size of the club in general, there's going to be plenty of money to spend in January, I imagine. They'll probably give me some. There'll certainly be plenty of money to spend next summer. And even if the board don't throw all of the money in the universe at me, which I suspect they will, because there'll be so much money sloshing around the club, there's so many of these players on enormous salaries that I'm just not going to be renewing. Even the right back who should be a striker, who I'm still not memorised everyone's names yet, Rafalski. He's on £525,000 a week. I honestly don't care how good a right back he is. If we get an offer for him, he is leaving, because I am not giving him a new contract on £500,000 a week. That's for sure. No one's getting a contract on £500,000 a week. That is bonkers, I think. I've not managed a club this size for a long time. How are we not beating Slavia Prague yet? I'm certain we must be better than this. We have had a couple of very iffy games now, and I'm not panicking yet. There's no reason to panic just yet. It's fine at the. I mean, it is fine. Currently, it is fine. Let's offer some encouragement and hope that there is a goal that will appear. Now would be good. Now would be good for a goal. If we could do a goal now, that would be really good. Let's try Koulibaly in his more natural habitat, see if he can make something a bit more creative happen for that. I mean, looking at the match stats, it's one of those games where we've done everything right other than finding the back of the net. We had that big chance for Vinicius that he missed. Clearly, we've had a couple more big chances as well. We have absolutely dominated them and just not had the luck go our way. It feels like it's one of those times where the game is testing me. Do you really believe this is the right tactic for your players? Yeah, I do. I'm not going to change off the back of a couple of iffy results. The board are backing me. I'm not going to get sacked in single figure episodes in a foreign country again. Forget adaptability 1. We're going to beat Barcelona. Well, the strength in depth problem is already a problem. The guy who got sent off against Atletico, Mikel Tadzi, is obviously unavailable for the next game against Barcelona, which means the guy who went to left back in that game and was terrible, Robert Marina, is going to go against Barcelona at left back because we have no other left back. Roa comes into the team to replace him. We're also bringing Carrera into the midfield just to have a proper midfielder in there rather than all attacking midfielders and then all defenders. That's basically what we've got. We've got no strikers and no proper central midfielders. We play with 5 defenders and then 5 attacking midfielders. It's such a stupidly unbalanced squad. Who did these transfers this summer? We're starting to call some young players up as well from the B team and the under 19s. They're not great, but they're filling numbers out. We're going to bring the young 15-year-old defender up as well, but we couldn't bring him up. Well, I say we couldn't bring him up. We could, but I right-clicked on him to try and bring him into the first team squad, accidentally sent him to Castilla, so now I have to wait for the game to tick over so I can bring him out of Castilla into the main squad. I hope he can go to all 3 in the same season, or else that one misclick is going to be frustrating. And Rafalski's back in the team as well, even though he's not fully fit. But I mean, we are bare bones already, and it's one suspension has got us down to the bare bones. We've got to find a way to get a result here against Barcelona, or this does become a really worrying start to the season and a situation that we can't really begin to remedy until January when we can do some more transfers. Barcelona have signed Sandro Tonali, one of my old boys. He's headed over to Barcelona. And one of my boys from the network game, Gavi's in there as well. Gavi and Tonali together in midfield. That's quite a midfield if it's 2027. Luckily, it's 2036 or whatever it is. So hopefully we can run that midfield ragged because of how old they're going to both be in there. I tell you what, Canizares is going to struggle to make it to the end of the season as my goalkeeper. He just looks really dodgy. Really, really dodgy. We've got Thomas Silva, who we obviously spent a lot of money on, has enormous potential. He's only got 2 stars current ability, but Canizares is not impressing me so far. He was particularly flappy against Atletico, and we just saw a little bit of it there again. And now we've given away a penalty. And oh, referee, do you have to go over to your little telly? Look, he's coming towards me to taunt me. Just run straight there. You don't have to dance over towards me and say, look at what I'm doing. I'm going to go look at my little telly. I don't care what you're going to look at, referee. Don't give the penalty. I'm furious with you. Goodness me. No penalty. You're an idiot. Why did you come all the way over here? You were going to do that all along. What a moron. Right, Canizares. Save your place in the starting 11. We need a scapegoat. You're it at the moment because I've signed an expensive replacement for you. Well, that was straight at you and you didn't save it. So strike 1. Get to 3 strikes. The youngster starts the next game because I'm panicking already. Oh, I've not even made it to double figures of games here at Real Madrid and I am panicking. That one adaptability really is... I mean, it's real. We're down in 10th place. I've not been this low in a league table in about 8 years. Since I got sacked at Schalke, probably, would be the last time. We've not really created anything there. Almost as if playing without a striker. Let me add to that. Almost as if starting the season without a striker in the squad and no proper plan to remedy that. It's almost as if, that wasn't a very good idea. I won't have it. The last time I had an idea that maybe wasn't a good idea was when I signed the 3 defenders in the one window for Norwich. And that worked out brilliantly. This whole not having a striker at Real Madrid, less so. It's 2-0 to Barcelona. In the space of 7 days, we've been thumped by Atletico Madrid. We're now being thumped by Barcelona. And we've been incapable of beating Slavia Prague or Sparta. One of the Pragues. I forget which one we played. Oh, God. I'd sack me at this point. I think I'd just say, look, he doesn't speak Spanish. His adaptability is 1. Have you seen what's gone on this last week? Get him out of here before he does too much damage. Because we are not even in this game at the moment. We are not even competitive. And we don't have a plan B because we don't have the players to put a plan B together. I've gone a little bit too heavy-handed on the rebuild, tried to do too much too soon, run out of money before the initial stage was complete, and this is what you're left with. A small squad with huge gaps in it. Vinicius Jr. grabs a goal back. He's going to need to do that a lot more often. We're asking an awful lot from him, from a player who we identified in episode 1 was on the decline because of his age. The last couple of years, he's not been the same force he'd been for the previous 10 years for Real Madrid. But we've put so much reliance on him doing something, and it was probably a bad idea. Right, shoulder up can come on. L can come on. And we don't have anyone to go and play there, so we'll take off Etundi. Sole can come on and go there. A player who, again, he's another one who's really old, who I said I wasn't planning on using, and yet here I am being forced to use him. Lopez to Rafalski, who I haven't tried him up front yet. We're getting close to that. That'll be the final straw when the locals see me starting to play the right back at centre forward. After these results, that's when they know it's time for me to go. Boos ringing around the Bernabeu the next time we have a home game. He doesn't even know what it looks like. I still don't. I could be in it now and I wouldn't know. Oh my God, what have I just seen us do? A Real Madrid shirt hasn't even arrived yet. I might just ring Adidas up and tell them not to bother. I don't think I'm going to be needing it. Is there any vacancies in the French second division? I think Non-Leagues Legends got a long way to go yet. One of my other network game buddies, Gravenberch, has now come on for Barcelona. It gets worse. We've conceded 4 against both Atletico and Barcelona in the same week. And we look awful. We do not look like a good team. I think we might need a little bit of a tactical rethink. Maybe the diamond isn't going to be the tactic that we use successfully here in Spain. I think get your finger out your ear, F. Let us have that. 2 4-2 defeats is better than one of them being 4-1. I'm clutching at anything he has given it. I guess that's some compensation for him screwing me over with the penalty. And Vinicius Jr. has looked bright, so there is that. Barcelona have won La Liga the last couple of years, and Vinicius Jr. scored twice against them, playing as a centre forward, and has looked like the only player who actually is trying. Which I guess he is, because he's the one who's been here forever. He's the Real Madrid boy. The rest of them probably know that they're on their way out. Or they've not been here long enough to care yet, one way or the other. No one else is as bothered as he is. And now it's 5. Oh, no. No, 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 no. I have got a task on my hands getting through to January without getting fired. The one thing that I think, and it's ridiculous that I'm talking like this early on, but it has not been a good start. We're down in 10th place. We've had 2 massive thumpings and we don't seem to be able to beat teams we're better than, as shown against Prague, as shown against Leganes. We've only played well twice in my first 6 games. I was sacked after 6 games with Schalke. This was the stage of the season they binned me off. Things aren't much better here than they were there. What's the club vision like? Yeah. They're all right at the moment. They are okay for now. The one thing in my favour is we've now played Atletico and Barcelona away from home. We don't have to do that again this season. So that's our 2 hardest games gone. If we can win a couple of league games in a row, knock a few goals past Anderlecht, get our confidence up, by the time we're back tomorrow with Valencia and Atalanta, it might all be okay. It needs to all be okay. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.